We fixin' to make this town real smoky.
We have a few topics to talk about in this video today, but I want to start off with this one that you guys may have heard of already. There was a very real Tekken post made on the Tekken subreddit. Can AI ghosts be permanently saved? My brother just passed away is what it says. This post hit home with so many players around the world because everyone knows what that's like. Through this post, this person was basically asking, can the AI ghost that their brother was, because it copies the player's movesets, skills and whatnot, right? This person was asking if that can be saved. No matter if the game is updated or if the version is changed, can that ghost that imitates their brother remain there? A person by the name of Shanna sees this post, takes a screenshot, and puts it on Twitter for Harada, Michael Murray, and Nakatsu to see. It says, it's so tragic when you lose somebody so close to you this way. To be able to still share a moment with your loved ones like this would be magical. I wish him much strength and hope this can be made possible. Both Nakatsu and Harada respond to this post. They both give their condolences and also deepest sympathies. And to the question of if the ghost can be saved, they basically say yes. If you download and save your brother's ghost locally, you can still play against the AI anytime, even if the data is lost from the server. Harada adds to this and says, and please, let me know if there's anything I can do to help. I have personally sent message cards or other messages to many ceremonies. If it helps him feel any better, please tell him to contact me. This is why Harada-san is legendary. But also to the person on the Tekken subreddit, know that loss can be difficult, but remember, your brother lives on through you. His legacy still exists. Now another topic that I want to talk about, this one is really big too. If you guys remember, like 2 months ago, Twitch and Korea was having a bit of issues. If my memory is serving me right, Korea tried to change a law to get more money out of Twitch, and Twitch responded by saying, no, we're not going to do that. In February, we'll cut ties and we won't have service in Twitch. And a lot of people were waiting to see like if this can be somehow resolved or if this can be fixed, but sadly, it has not. The Korean Telecom Communication, KCC, fined Twitch 43 million won, which is basically $330,000, for suspending the service in South Korea. This is coming after pretty much every Korean streamer that was streaming on Twitch can no longer do so. For Tekken specifically, you guys may have saw a change where Lohai announced that they will no longer be streaming on Twitch. They will now be streaming after 7 years, changing platforms and going to Afika TV. This is basically like a streaming company in Korea that's really popular. So that's where Lohai is moving. For iMusician, one of the greatest Yoshimitsus on the planet, iMusician switched from Twitch to YouTube. There's a lot of people going back and forth and trying to figure out where they're going to be located. And just to see that this kind of just to see a corporation and a government collide and all of the citizens suffer the consequences is something you never want to see. What I will say, at least for Tekken, I don't know about the larger Korean Twitch streamers, but for Tekken, the ones who are moving to YouTube are finding massive audience and great success. And if this is eventually resolved, who knows, maybe they won't want to go back, or maybe they will start double streaming. The final things that I'll say about Twitch and just streaming in general before we move on to Tekken 8 is this. It says Twitch and Kick has been banned in Turkey. We have no explanation as to why, but everyone is jumping to the conclusion of basically gambling. Gambling probably is the reason. But once again, you just have another massive country immediately being cut off from one of the biggest streaming platforms on the planet, which is Twitch. Now, once again, shifting topics, let's talk about Tekken. I do want to bring up the comparison between Street Fighter 6 and Mortal Kombat, where Mortal Kombat has their prize pool of $100,000. First place will be walking away with $30,000. Street Fighter 6 is $2 million. First place will be walking away with $1 million. I still want to see where Tekken 8 will fall. This game is absolute gold, and they said themselves how influential and impactful tournaments are in the success of Tekken. So I think it would only be right if they backed up that statement by putting up a big prize pool. You maybe don't have to do $2 million. That's pretty massive for Capcom to do that, but definitely something greater than just $100,000. And also, when we talk about the new era of games, I just went back and looked at the statistics. Most copies sold for any fighting game. You have 3 Smashes up in the top 5, 1 Street Fighter, you have Mortal Kombat 11 in 4th, and X in 6th. You have Tekken 5 and 7 in 8th and 9th, and Tekken 3 in 13th. Street Fighter 5 in 14th. I do think the new titles from these games will crack these sales, just talking about how like these games are the ones that kind of like reinvigorated the fighting game genre community. But now that these games have so much steam and backing behind them, I think it will definitely smash these records easily. When you look at the amount of copies these franchises have sold as a whole, Mortal Kombat stands at number 1, 80 mil. Smash Bros, 71 mil. Tekken is next with 55 million. Street Fighter is 5th with 51 million. This kind of just shows you the true impact in terms of raw sales. Something that I want to mention, but I will not go into the depths of reading because there's a lot of information here. A couple of days ago, it was the 19-year anniversary for Tekken 5. You know, this year, 2024, is the 30th anniversary for Tekken as a whole. But Harada responded to this and basically went super in detail with basically just the experience of Tekken 5. What they thought, what they wanted to do, their plans. I know Tekken 5 is very special for a lot of you, so pause and read both pages of this tweet. But let's continue. One more set of tweets from Harada that I want to highlight. He was once again talking about Tifa. Harada was talking about like PCs and computers and stuff in Japanese, and then a random Tifa main shows up and asks him how to unlock Tifa. He responded with, you gotta tell those developers who own Tifa to agree with that kind of partnership. And someone else responded to that and was asking, well, what if we do a petition? Could that get their attention? And the response here was very interesting. He says, depending on the size of the game, an online petition with 1,000 or 10,000 signatures is not very effective. At least 100,000 signatures are required to start a petition. Even so, an online petition lacks credibility, so it can only be taken as a rough guide. The conversation about Tifa and just guest characters in general has been going on for about 5 years now. I remember back in 2019 when this whole talks really kicked up and people were asking for stuff maybe for season 4 or season 5, and it never happened. And in Tekken 8 it is continuing, but also it's continuing because of the developers like Harada, you know, going the back and forth. It takes two to have a conversation, and the conversation wouldn't be going on if Harada wasn't egging it on. And basically what I mean by that is, where does it end? 5 years of talking about guest characters. Tekken 8 is currently revealing DLC characters. Will one of those characters actually be a Tifa or something that Harada has been hinting at? Or is Harada just simply trolling everyone and none of this will happen? One final thing. Nee made a tweet with the hashtag Tekken8 report, and it says, if you disconnect with your opponent during the current win streak, you will lose your win streak. Nakatsu responds and says, thank you for reporting this, I will verify. And this kind of rubbed a lot of people the wrong way because this is something that players has been saying since day one. Like day one, I was on like a 27 win streak. I was destroying all of the scrubs. And then one of those scrubs plugged and I lost my 27 win streak. So Nee getting an immediate response like this kind of just made players feel like the hashtag is kind of worthless. We've been saying this for 3 weeks. Yet Nee says it once and get an immediate response is basically how people feel. Or, and you know, this is just playing devil's advocate, maybe people has been saying it so much and they just chose Nee to respond to so everyone can know that it's being worked on. I don't know. I'm just saying what the players are saying and what the developers are saying and giving my own thoughts at the end. Subscribe to the channel, leave a like on the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.